right, still with us, criminal defense attorneys Jacqueline Goodman and David Bruno. Big developments here. Finally, I mean, she has denied, Becky Hill has denied these allegations by word, but now she's filed an official affidavit with the court. Took a look at this affidavit, Jacqueline, and SLED was the investigatory wing of the prosecutor's office. They basically did an investigation, talked to the jurors. I think they talked to about 10 to 12 of them, 10 of 12. And they said, hey, maybe this was a mistake. There was one juror who said, yeah, I think I heard her say something to the effect about evidence, et cetera, et cetera. But then another juror said, well, no, Creighton Waters said that in his closing. This might be all a big mistake. Your thoughts on this response by her attorneys and by her? And David Bruno, we've talked about this, and we both feel that if these allegations are in fact true, they raise some very serious questions and could open up this case to perhaps going back and doing a retrial on it. But I'll tell you what, after reading the affidavit filed by Creighton Waters, I'm convinced that when a judge reads that, again, I think personally, you know, judges do not want to open up these cases. The jury verdict is sacrosanct. You're going to have to come up with some really good evidence that this happened. I'm not sure, based on reading Creighton Waters' response and this affidavit. They also interviewed a bunch of people who work in the courthouse as to what they saw as well. Again, they didn't see anything untoward. Where do you think this might end up in terms of what the court's decision might be as far as opening up this case, or even having a hearing where we're bringing in jurors to testify in court?
Wow, Mike, I could talk for the next half hour about this case. I mean, your introduction about a saga is an understatement. With that being said, you know, I see it a little differently, Michael. I mean, I see a material issue of fact that is in dispute. It's so material that it could lead to an unjust result. And I would hope that we do get a hearing. And I say that because I'm also disgusted by the fact that SLED did the investigation. All right, we've heard about SLED over and over the last couple of years about this case and the other open investigation that's going on. And SLED was attacked at the trial. SLED was an agency that really was at issue. And SLED is the only agency in the country that could have done this objective investigation. I'm a little bit taken back that couldn't have found an objective, maybe the state attorney general's office or some other agency to do this fact-finding investigation. And it's the same agency that was attacked during the trial. Those are kind of my 2 points. If there's a material issue of dispute, I think we should hear it in testimony. And then the fact that SLED did the investigation is troubling for me.
Yeah, I promise you we're going to hear that from Murdaugh's attorneys, because they've been arguing from the beginning that SLED shouldn't be involved in the investigation. They wanted an independent outside investigation. But you start with SLED, and we'll see where it goes from there. But again, the appearance of impropriety is so important in these types of situations. All right, time for another break, folks. Coming